Hi guys, good morning. Happy Wednesday. I hope you got out yesterday and enjoyed some of the sunshine. It was beautiful. I think at one point it looked and it was like 70 degrees. I walked around the neighborhood a couple times, went for a run. It was nice to be outside. So I hope that you took some time to be outside yesterday. Today it's kind of rainy, so not so much. So we had a really good chapter where we stopped. If you remember from yesterday, Ava was chasing after her dad. She's again worried that her parents may be getting a divorce, and she's also concerned, based on what Sophia's dad did, that her dad, her dad may be meeting someone else. So she's chasing him essentially down the road, like spying after him. I don't think that's what's happening, but I think that her worry and anxiety is making her think that something's going to happen that's not going to happen. So I know that there's just times in our lives when there's so much to worry about that we feel like we can't control what's going on, and so it just makes us worry more and more and more. So in Ava's situation, she should really probably talk to her parents about how she's feeling inside so that she can maybe get some of those worries off her chest. Um, I also think this relates to what we're going through personally. If you have a lot of worries about what's going on in school and what's going on at home and the COVID um, sickness and virus that's happening, make sure that you're either talking to me or Mrs. Weiner or your parents or your friend over Zoom or something so that you're getting those anxieties out because that's really important. So anyway, I went off on a tangent, which I always do in class. So we're in chapter 15, and it is in the dead of night. Ava flew to the corner, then paused and peered down Maple Street. Her dad was walking down the sidewalk, whistling. Whistling? As if taking a walk in the dark was a perfectly normal thing for him to be doing. He went past the market, crossed Champlain Avenue, and kept walking. Where was he going? Ava followed him, keeping her distance, staying in the shadows. Finally, her dad slowed down and turned into the driveway to the fire station. Why would he be going there? And then she remembered it wasn't just a fire station today. It was a polling place, so where people vote. Her mouth dropped open. Dad! He whirled around and held up his hands. Ava, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Ava pointed to the campaign signs that lined the sidewalk. Her voice shook, but the words spilled out. You're voting? How could you? You made a deal with Mom. You promised. I just, I was watching the news and evening, Rich, Mrs. Varnway, Mr. Varnway called as he headed to his car. You and Alicia trying to be the last two votes before they count them? So his mom went too. Just me tonight, Ed. Oh, no, she's here. Mr. Varnway pointed to the fire station. Yellow light poured from the open door. Saw her in line on my way out. You two are ships that pass in the night, huh? He chuckled and waved and got into his Jeep. Ava looked at her dad. Did did you guys change your mind and decide you'd vote after all? No. He pressed his lips together, looked at the lit up door, and then turned back to Ava, grinning. Come with me. We're going to surprise Mom. He took off running toward the door, and Ava followed. But she had a pit in her stomach that felt like it was in the process of growing into a whole, humongous avocado. Was he going to confront Mom right here? If they got into a fight right in front of everybody? Over here. Shh. Dad waved for Ava to hide at the side of the door, pressed against the building as if they were on some kind of police stakeout. Her mom's voice drifted out of the building. Well, tell Raymond I said hello. I hope he's feeling better. Have a good night. High-heeled footsteps clicked across the floor, and just as they got to the door, Ava's dad jumped in front of it. Nice night for democracy, isn't it? Ava's mom jumped about a mile and then just stood there, eyes huge, staring at her dad. Ava was blinking like crazy. She wanted to hide. She wanted to crawl between the cracks in the bricks like an ant so she wouldn't have to see them argue. No, she wanted to run away and keep running so she wouldn't have to hear them either. But her feet felt cemented to the sidewalk, and she couldn't go anywhere, so she braced herself for the worst. Her dad burst out laughing. Big, loud belly laughs. And then her mom laughed too. How did you know? I was, her dad was laughing so hard he couldn't catch his breath, and the voting place volunteers were starting to stare. Mom's eyes got bigger. You didn't know, did you? You came to vote too, you stinker. She shook her head and then held out her arm, and Dad wrapped her up in a big hug. Ava stared. They didn't look like they were about to get divorced, but the pencil would probably say you could never tell about these things, free will and everything. Still, she couldn't help feeling a little better. Come on, Ava, her dad held one arm open. Family hug, and then you can come with me to cancel your mom's vote. Ava went into the booth with her dad and helped him fill in the little bubbles while her mom waited. Then Ava slipped her dad's ballot into the counting machine and they left. Ava still felt full of nervous pricklers, but neither of her parents seemed mad on the walk, so she tried not to worry. It was past 9 when they got home. Dad went to say goodnight to Emma, but Ava stayed in the kitchen while Mom started the dishes. At last, you really did get dish soap, Ava said, reaching for a towel to dry, so it wasn't a total lie. Mom sighed and squirted some soap into the sink. A few bubbles floated up toward the ceiling. How much have I damaged your image of me tonight? Ava thought about that. Not much, she said. If Dad wasn't mad, she figured it was okay. But I'm never going to forget the look on your face when Dad jumped out at you. Mom laughed and handed Ava a plate to dry. Never a mighty long time. Ava smiled. That was a quote from Peter Pan, almost. As usual, Mom had made up her own versions. It's supposed to be an awful long time. Ava told her. It was also an awful funny expression on your face, so I think it's fair to say I'll never forget it. She wiped off the plate and slid it onto the pile in the cupboard. Hey, Mom, I was wondering about something. What's that? Why don't you and Grandpa talk very much? Grandpa doesn't talk much to anybody. Mom held out a handful of dripping silverware. Yeah, but it seems like Ava dried the fork and spoons and put them away. So she should have planned this conversation better. It wasn't like she could tell Mom what the pencil said. I don't know. It just seems like you're mad at him or something. Nope. Mom ran some more hot water into the sink. We just don't see things the same way. She turned off the water, reached over with her sudsy hands, and gave Ava a quick hug. Get ready for bed, okay? I'll come to read in a bit. Ava nodded. She'd have to try asking Grandpa another time. She was tired anyway. Ava went upstairs and changed into her pajamas. She was on her way to brush her teeth when she heard music coming from the kitchen, jazz music. Ava figured her parents would be watching election results on TV, but this sounded like the Johnny Hodges song she found online earlier. She crouched at the top of the stairs in her pajamas and peered through the spindles of the railing. The TV was off. But there was Johnny Hodges playing on the computer screen again. With her eyes half closed, lost in the music, was her mom, drumming and grooving away. her father holding her mother close, Mom's tight black curls tucked under the blonde gray stubble of Dad's chin. They were smiling, dancing while the soap suds sat in the sink. Ava brushed her teeth and went to her room and picked up the pencil. Are Mom and Dad really okay with each other and as happy as they look right now? They really are, the voice whispered. This time, Ava believed it. What's up with Mom and Grandpa? The pencil didn't answer. Ava figured she'd phrased the question wrong, but she was too tired to try again. At last, her parents were happy. The polls were closed, so their big arguing season was over. Who won the stupid election? Ava wrote. The pencil answered. Ava wasn't sure when the official results came out, but once they did, Mom wasn't going to be happy for long. So that is chapter 15. The next chapter is called Music, Monsters, Trucks, and Tiaras. So I feel like she's going to go back to the nursing home. For today's assignment, I will be posting a link to a Google form. And the first thing you're going to do is type in your name, and then it asks you a few questions, and you just hit submit. It's very easy. If you have any problems, shoot me a message in Google Classroom or an email to rsmith. I will see some of you in a Zoom today at 10 and then the rest of you on Friday. So I'm trying to come up with a fun game for Friday, so we'll see. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.